FIFA 23 is just 1 month away, and the game mode that players are the most excited for, of course, is Ultimate Team. This year there's quite a few changes, some of them fairly big, others fairly small, but in this video we'll be going through all the changes as well as I'll be giving my opinion. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins for FIFA 22 and they will be back round for FIFA 23, make sure that you are going over to Mule Factory. Links to them can be found in the description down below, and if you use Fnatic5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video. Out of all the FIFA 23 announcements so far, Ultimate Team does have the most changes, but that is expected as it is the biggest money maker for EA. So the first change, there is no more chemistry. Well, at least for how we know it, the chemistry is still within the game. It's just across the whole starting 11 and not just players that are close together. This means you can have Mbappe up front with Harry Kane, Mahrez and Valverde around him, which was shown within the FIFA 23 Ultimate Team trailer, and there being no chemistry lines linking any of these players. But Mbappe can still have full chemistry if there is enough French players, Ligue 1 players and PSG players within the team. A good example that EA does use within the trailer is Trent Alexander-Arnold as right back and Andrew Robertson as left back. There are two centre backs between them, but still both Alexander-Arnold and Robertson have enough chemistry because they do link to each other, as well as there is enough Premier League players within the team to also give the correct links. We can see this by the 3 diamonds on the bottom left of their cards, with this given a much more in-depth visualization of chemistry across the team on the left hand side once you go into your squad. Players can have either 0, 1, 2 or 3 chemistry. But I do want to make it clear that 0 chem isn't necessarily a negative effect on the players. They will still play at least as good as their base stats, but pushing for 1, 2 or 3 will give them a much higher boost. Now with this change with chemistry, it does also change a few other things. Firstly, when looking at chemistry styles will be the same as what we've had in previous years. You can still apply them to players and it will impact their attributes. Now based on the chemistry links, when a player has 1 chemistry, they'll get a small boost to their attributes. When they have 2 chemistry, they'll get a medium boost to their attributes. And finally, once they get 3 chemistry, they'll have a full boost to those attributes. Position changes are also different within FIFA 23. Now because you can have 0 chemistry but it's still being a fairly good player in game dependent on their actual stats, you can choose to play any player in any position. If they are out of position, they will always have 0 chem. Even if you have the correct nations and leagues around that player to give them full chem, they will still have 0 if they're not in the correct position. Not just that, but the player also will not contribute to any of the other chemistry for players in the team. Now, as an example, EA uses within their pitch notes, Mbappe as a striker within a correct position will give chemistry to other players that fit within the same team, league or nationality as Mbappe. But the second we move Mbappe out of position, let's just say down to a center defensive mid, he himself goes down to 0 chemistry, so he gets no boost. He's just down to his base stat cards, but also he doesn't give any chemistry to any of his other teammates that are within the same team, that are within Ligue 1 and have the exact same nationality as him, being French. Of course, Mbappe being the player he is, he's still going to play well within game. It's just not as good as what he could possibly be on maximum being free chemistry. Now, position modifiers are still part of Ultimate Team despite you really have freedom to place players anywhere. It's just now players will have their main default position, but they will also have other positions based on where they play in real life. And using a position modifier will allow you to select from those positions which are available, with each player having at least 2 positions that they can choose from. The example that we do see within the trailer is João Cancelo. Because he's played both as a right back and a left back in real life, you can apply a position modifier to play him or change him to be a right back or left back. And so that you are getting the most out of your players in the correct positions, it has resulted in EA removing two positions. It's been the right forward and left forward because it was only used within two formations, the 4-3-2-1 and the 3-4-2-1. Now for both of these formations, the position for right forward and left forward has just been transformed into center forward for both of them. Now for me, this is the biggest change to Ultimate Team. It's a change that players have been asking for the longest time, to remove chemistry out of Ultimate Team. Now it's not entirely removed, but you now have freedom to build the teams you want. If you really wanted to, you can have any player in any position, and yes, they will all be on 0 chem, but they will still play fairly decent in game. It's just that they're on 0 chem, so they get no added boost. Of course, if you did have chemistry, those players are going to perform even better, but if you're going to be going for the best players possible within game, which most people have a very good team after the first month or two of Ultimate Team, then you're in good hands. You're going to be very good. You're going to have some insanely good players, and you can play them wherever you want without having to worry about getting 100 chemistry for that team by linking them up to nearby players. We're going to be seeing a lot more crazy teams next year within FIFA 23. I can't wait to see some of the squads that are being put together by other content creators, and I'm hoping that we can also build some insane teams ourselves. Now, let's go on to the next changes. A new game mode will be added to Ultimate Team. This is called Foot Moments. This is single player bite-sized scenarios. If you've ever played any type of football simulation mobile game, you will notice that they use these bite-sized gameplay scenarios quite often. Well, now it's being moved over into Ultimate Team. These will be small events, just a couple minutes of each game, whether it be scoring penalties, free kicks, corners. It may be set challenges. One example they use is scoring with a goalkeeper. It might be you being in the 90th minute 2-0 down and you have 10 minutes to win the game. There's loads of scenarios which can be implemented into these foot moments. To enter these, you will first start each moment by selecting a story. Each story will be based on seasonal themes, whether it be foot campaign or real events from football's past or present. We see footage of them going through an Mbappe story, and each of these stories is made up of chapters which are themed groups of play that contain the moments themselves. One way I think that EA might see this, and this is just me guessing at this point because there has been no footage of this, but I can definitely see them doubling down with icons. A story could be a specific type of player. Let's say it's Ronaldinho. That's the main story. You click into that and there's 3 separate chapters. One for their base, one for their middle, and one for their prime. Each of them breaking down key moments within Ronaldinho's career which you can recreate within Ultimate Team and get rewards for them. Now, the only example that has been used so far is Mbappe, but we can all see how icons can be used within this game mode. Now, unfortunately, you won't be rewarded with an icon at the very end. Instead, you get rewarded with a new currency called stars. The idea is that the harder the difficulty that you go through these moments with, the more stars you'll earn towards the end. With these stars, you can redeem them within the moments reward gallery where you can get packs or save them for players. The more stars you save, the bigger the reward that you can get, incentivizing you to try some of the hardest difficulties as it is single player so that you can get the most possible stars out of those game modes. If you are unable to complete the moment first time you fail the objectives, the good thing is that you can just continuously keep on going through them. You keep on trying until eventually you do manage to complete it, you get the reward, and then you can move on to the next one. I think this is a pretty neat game mode. Of course, it's nothing new as we have seen it in quite a lot of different types of mobile games before, but it is nice to see it come to Ultimate Team. I think players are going to be using this. This may, and this all comes down to the types of rewards which are going to be used, but I'm definitely going to try this out right at the beginning of Foot, but whether or not I carry on using it throughout the rest of the year, it does all come down to how grind it is and what type of rewards are on offer. Now, the final major change that we're going to be talking about within this video is cross-platform. Crossplay is now added to all 1 vs 1 game modes. This does include Ultimate Team. This is for the same generation of consoles. Now, the reason that I'm more excited about this isn't really to go and play against other players on different consoles, although that is a good selling point because it does open up a lot more opportunity to play different players, and that can be a major problem this time of the year when there is a very limited amount of people playing this game. But for me as a trader, I like the idea of a much bigger and connected transfer market. Xbox players will be able to trade with PlayStation players. Now, normally for PlayStation, they have the biggest market, the most players live onto the transfer market. And it does make life a lot easier because, well, there's a lot more players to choose from, so there's much more competitive side of things. When you go into certain methods where you're trying to trade multiple of the exact same player, there's obviously going to be a lot more. This does mean for the videos that we record in this channel where we do go through the latest trading methods, I don't need to tell people to look for different types of players depending on what platform they're using, because both Xbox and PlayStation will be using the exact same market. Anyway guys, these are some of the biggest changes coming to FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which one of these changes are you most excited for? Me personally, and the reason I put at the beginning of this video, is the whole change to chemistry, position modifiers, chem styles, certain positions being removed, all of that, just because it means that we can create different types of teams that we've never been able to create before, without the worry of needing to get 100 chemistry. But let me know what you're most excited for by leaving all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see you.